For Mavericks fans, Tuesday night is the night for them.
That's the playoffs for your Mavs.
Oh, boy. Playoffs, everything, because we will find out if the Mavericks are able to keep the number 10 or better pick in this year's NBA draft. Because if they don't, it's going to Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks, which would, though, unlock the 2025 and 2027 first-round picks if you are of that mindset to say, let's finally get the last remnant of the Kristaps Porzingis trade over with, move the pick on, and let's unlock
some picks that you can now move and deal with.
Yes. But
booty.
If the Mavericks do keep that pick,
mm-hmm.
and let's say, as we have this conversation here,
hypothetical,
the prize in this year's NBA draft is Victor Wembanyama.
Yes, generational prospect.
Wemby, as he's affectionately known these days.
Big Vic.
And the consensus is Wembanyama and the other two,
Scoot Henderson and Brandon Miller,
are your top three players.
That's right. In that order.
Okay.
Wemby, Scoot, Brandon Miller.
Now, historical context here, the Mavericks have never, ever moved up in the NBA draft lottery. 0 for 16. Never done it.
Oh, and just so people understand what we're talking about here, with the draft lottery, depending on how you finish, you get particular odds on, once we get into the lottery, where, what your odds are to move up and to get the first pick or just to move up in general.
Correct.
And there was a point in time where the worst team got the best odds, but now the 3 or 4 worst teams have the same odds, and then beyond that, your odds narrow. Now, they go and they draw, and then with those odds, then they determine who gets certain spots. And we've seen teams, move up, from where they would be slotted normally if you just had a reverse standings order draft. And the Mavericks have never been one of those teams.
No, they have not. So there's a great chance that Wembanyama ends up in Texas.
Between the Rockets or the Spurs.
San Antonio.
Sure. 2 of the worst teams last year.
That's right.
Intentionally so.
But let's say that the basketball gods smile on Dirk's Mavericks and they go not just move up in the draft.
Move all the way up.
They go all the way
to the east side
to number 1, which would mean
Wemby, Luka, championship. Thanks. That's all I need to hear.
Or
Wemby, Kyrie championship. I don't understand what you're getting at.
Or if you're Mark Cuban, Nico Harrison, Andrew Baker, Michael Finley in this front office, conventional wisdom says, yeah, take Victor Wembanyama with the number 1 overall pick. Of course it does.
The generational prospect.
But what if that front office says, hey, we know what the prize is in this year's NBA draft. How much other 29 NBA teams are you willing to give up to go get the combination of Kevin Durant, Giannis, and LeBron James and have him for the next 15 years? How much are you willing to give up to go get Victor Wembanyama? Would you listen? Would you dangle Victor in front of the rest of the NBA and say, how much y'all want? How badly do y'all want to get Victor?
Me personally, the only thing I dangle, I can't say on the air.
Thank you.
But I understand your idea, because this is the thing. We've seen in the NBA, the idea of trading for something that is either a known commodity or like a damn near known commodity has gone up. We saw Rudy Gobert command 4 first-round picks. We saw Kevin Durant command 4 first-round picks, in addition to like other stuff in both of those situations. And so I know that with Victor Wembanyama is not a guy who has played in the NBA who is a known commodity in that way. However, he is quite literally the best prospect that we've seen in a long time. I don't want to do
since LeBron. I'm gonna go since LeBron.
Okay, I was like, I didn't want to do the since thing, but you got it
since LeBron,
right?
Yeah.
So with that being the case, there's a lot of teams that look at that as a sure thing and a somewhat known commodity. So can you extract 2, 3 first round picks? And the reason why that is interesting, right? Because that it does in one way harken back to me. You watch The Simpsons at all? Or actually, this isn't even The Simpsons. Wrong show. This is actually Family Guy, where they had Peter in one of them one of these offices, and he's like, "Hey man, you can have a brand new boat or this mystery box." And he's like, "I think I'm gonna take the mystery box." And Lois is like, "Peter, there's a boat." He's like, "But the mystery box can be anything, even a boat." Right? Like that's what you're doing with the first round picks. This first round picks can be anything, even Wembanyama, but he's right there, right? But the thing about it is this team is so devoid of talent, and we talked about it over and over, that those first round picks that you could attract, in addition to other things, players, second round picks, so on and so forth, would be really useful in recouping talent to your organization. So from that perspective, I absolutely hear you, except all that logic be damned. Give me the player. Like you just superstar caliber players. The Mavericks have spent a decade luring and trying. Like when you have that fall into your lap, you take it. You just do.
Now I'm on the side of draft Victor. Like y'all tell me he's the next. Well, actually, he's the first of his kind because apparently he's LeBron, KD, and Giannis all combined into one with the handle of a point guard. To which I say, what the hell? Okay, all right.
Y'all funny. From the 972 kid would have Wemby play off the bench for his lack of defense. Y'all are
all
hilarious.
right, 972, relax.
Y'all are funny.
But it would be a fun conversation to just dangle him in front of the rest of the NBA. Because here's, at minimum, if I'm going to trade the rights to Victor Wembanyama, I need at minimum your best player, if not your 2 best players and 3 first rounders. At minimum, if you tell me that he's the first of what is supposed to be the next generation of baller in Victor Wembanyama, I need your 2 best players and 3 first rounders at minimum. If that's what you want, maybe we can have a conversation. But I would probably draft Victor in this scenario. But it would be fun. But it gets me to my other, whole thing with this draft. I'm not gonna lie to you, Reg. If the Mavericks find themselves in the top 3 and it's not 1,
you thinking about still taking that pick? Is that what you're about to tell me?
Yeah.
Because Scoot Henderson, Victor Wembanyama himself said, if I was not in this draft, he would be first overall pick, which 1 is also one of the coldest things that I've heard. And 2 is absolutely correct. Like he is a number 1 overall prospect type player, although he's at point guard. And that makes it
I don't need one of those.
And then Brandon Miller.
That's it.
You're interested in that guy.
Look, I understand the stuff at Alabama. I get it. But my man goes what? 6'8", 6'9", strong. Both ends of the floor, can shoot.
Yeah.
Like I need that.
Yeah.
I need that on this team. If you find a way to get into a top 3, pick, and you have a chance to take Brandon Miller, I might keep that pick. And take Brandon Miller.
Wing forward type players is something that you need. But I think the tough part about it is if you get that high, the value that you can extract, especially if you're not getting Victor Wembanyama, then becomes
huge. Yes.
The first round, 1, maybe 2, maybe some seconds. Like being able to recoup your talent, or not your talent, your
you can get a haul for him for that pick. Yes.
Being able to refill your coffers is something that you really need because you've seen a constant asset drip for a long time with these Mavs. And the only way to get that back is either time or good fortune. And that good fortune is probably the draft lottery.
And the only reason why I say this is because Brandon Miller's ready to ball now.
Yeah.
And if you're telling me I got Luka, Kyrie, a young Jaden Hardy, Josh Green, and Brandon Miller, those 3 on rookie contracts to go along with Kyrie and Luka, now I can go get some big man help. Like I can work with that. So I don't know, man. But a little fun conversation as the Mavericks.
There was more conversation there than I thought. I thought I was just going to be like Wemby.
You're just ready to shut it down.
Over. Let's go get drinks. Like I thought that was it.
It's intriguing. We'll see how the draft gods fall for the Mavericks on Tuesday.